Hey, live,
Oh, God.
live. I got the
What's up, everybody?
notifications.
And we're live. Sorry for the delay.
It's Jeff's fault this time.
It's my fault. I'm trying not to die. Um,
Jeff, you were cool like 2 days ago. What happened to you?
I don't.
He's got like the lowest immune system.
It's that tends to happen when you just don't sleep for 18 hours. So
Yeah.
also apologize for my bad camera quality. I'll try and stay off the screen as much as I can. I'm down a cable. I'm getting it replaced tomorrow. But thank you guys for showing up so late tonight. Tonight we are officially recapping Sakura-Con, and just basically a continuation of our coverage of Moi-même-Moitié at Sakura-Con. We covered it in our previous Mana themed stream this past Saturday. So if you missed that, definitely check it out. It's an hour and a half of awesome goodness, and we had Rhubarb and Kassandra, whom I'm about to introduce again, where they checked in and gave us some live updates and all of that. Cadence says, "Not cool, guys. I'm about to go to bed." Come on, come on, dude. How committed are you, bro? Yeah, definitely check that out. And if this is your first time watching, welcome. This is a live stream that we normally do every week, every Saturday evening, but we're doing some extra ones in between because we've got these cons that are back to back with different J-Rock and Visual K events. So we are covering more and more stuff than usual, but you can definitely, if you subscribe to our channel, you'll get all the notifications for things. With that said, I didn't introduce myself already. I'm your host, Jeff DeWitt. With me, as always, is Winona Peace.
Yo.
And everyone, please welcome back to the show, Kassandra.
Hello.
So Kassandra works for VKH, and she also works with Fake Star, who brought Mana and Mana's fashion project Moi-même-Moitié to Sakura-Con this past weekend. So Kassandra, first of all, thanks for checking in while you were live on the scene on Saturday. But for those who might have missed that, can you give us just a general recap of how you think the con went, and then we can, and if anybody has any questions in the chat about like how anything that you want to ask Kassandra, again, for anyone just jumping in, was at the Moi-même-Moitié event. She's got all the inside scoop, so just put it in the chat. I'll read it out. So, but go ahead, take it away, Kassandra.
Okay, absolutely. So first recap of what we were seeing at Sakura-Con this year, what Fake Star brought with Moi-même-Moitié this year. Basically, this is the first time, this is the brand's US debut. Anyone who's familiar with Moi-même-Moitié has known that things have kind of slowed down in the last few years. There hasn't been a lot of production of new product, but since Wonderworld, the clothing company, acquired them, we've seen a huge pickup, and we've now seen more overseas events. So they came to the US and they brought a fashion show. They brought some of the new Moitié products out for display and for purchase, and had just in person like autographs with Mana. And if we're tracking by booth productivity, it was amazing as far as the turnout goes, as far as the reception goes. Everything that they brought was snatched up. The last day of the event, we barely had a booth to talk about. There was nothing to do there because there was nothing left.
You had a table and some cloth.
That's exactly. We had a blue tablecloth. It was beautiful, and they get to come look at our nice blue tablecloth because otherwise everything was gone. Which is the best thing that could have happened, because now they know, hey, guess what? We want more. You could have brought more, and even more would have happened because people didn't get enough.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing.
People love Mana. I mean, super respected.
Absolutely. That has not changed. We all got what we wanted. That's all that anyone wanted, was just for him to get this going and come out here. It's wonderful.
Yeah, how long has it been since Moi put out music?
The last Malice musical release would have been Reprise, which is not quite a best of album. It was more of a redo of some of the best album because it was done with Seth as opposed to Juka. So we got a lot of fun old songs done with Seth's voice on it, which is wonderful. But when was that? A while ago. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember? I'm having to
I think it was in 2014
say,
that came out.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought.
2012, guys.
Oh wow.
I don't want.
Yeah, it came out.
I'm in
the
denial.
Same time. I know, right?
Yeah, he's really got an uncanny talent for really having keeping fans devoted. You know,
with his 3 or 4 shows in Japan every year to just space it out and keep everyone a little bit engaged. He's not gone. He's not gone. Don't forget about him. He'll come back.
It's really just enough to tell you he's still active.
Yes, exactly. He's still here.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy because yeah, I mean, like I said on the stream, I was new to most of Mana's projects until very recently. But what they've got is very good. But then I was checking, especially in Moi, I dove into them the most. But then I was looking at the release dates and stuff, and I was like,
oh man.
oh man, are they still around? And then I was looking on social media, I was like, yeah, they're still a thing. So
yeah.
that's really impressive. So.
Yep, they still keep in touch. There's still, I mean, if you are looking for content from the members of Moi, most of them, of course, do have side projects that they're keeping up with at the same time. So you don't necessarily have to feel like you're starved for anything Moi just because they haven't put out an album in 6 years as that project. If you're willing to take the trip to Japan, there's still events that happen. You can still get a ticket for that and check in with them. Other than that, follow with your favorite members, and they're still around, all of them, and ready to jump back in as soon as there's more material to work with.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Whenever that'll come.
Yeah.
No rush. You can't rush Mana-sama. Hey.
Yeah, definitely not. The other thing we talked about on our last stream was we got into Mana's work in Malice Mizer, then his work in Moi, and then we started talking about what the legacy of, I guess, mainly Moi, but also Malice Mizer would be, because we have this, Mana is fairly inactive, but then in those periods in between, the scene is Visual Kei is just crazy active, and so it's who are the people or the artists that are going to be carrying on gothic rock and metal and symphonic metal and things like that, and we're coming up pretty short.
So I did go back and watch what you guys talked about, so I feel like I'm ready to kind of jump in.
Yeah, go for it.
Not that I can necessarily educate or add anything, because you guys, know what you're talking about. But from my perspective, having watched things develop over the last several years, it's definitely, you can't find a replacement for Moi. There's nothing that's going to fit all of it. There's nothing that's going to be the heavy gothic aesthetic along with the heavy music. Which is let's be real, they're heavier than most bands you're going to find now, or even in Visual Kei history. You're not going to find both, but it doesn't need to all be there to be continuing Mana's legacy. Mostly because the difference between Malice Mizer and Moi is so ridiculously huge.
So vast.
There's nothing about Mana's whole career that gets summed up in metal. That is not what he brought to the scene.
It's so funny because in a way, Mana was the first one to really bring metal around, because he was in Malice Mizer, did I don't want to say elevator music, but it's just so light and so easy on the ears. It's literally just so nice to listen to at any given point.
Yeah,
and then with
come on.
Yeah, even with Tetsu singing though, even with Tetsu singing Baroque, that was still a nice song. And then you have Moi, and you have like the Juka era, and now we're in the Seth era. And I'm just like, wow, you know, like it's so heavy. There's nothing about Malice Mizer in there, like you said, and it's just kind of. But there's like a little bit of like late era Malice Mizer in there. Like you could see it was starting to come up because it got significantly darker.
Yes, you got the organ stayed.
Yeah, it got really. It started to get super industrial, and then I guess the industrial part was really just Cozy, because now Cozy's doing his thing, and then. Mana's got he just said, you know, I want to make a metal band. I did the light French elevator music thing with Malice Mizer and made that super popular. So yeah, it's kind of funny.
With all of that then said, as far as the legacy goes, I feel like what you're looking for is more the I mean, I don't know. Do you define it by the people that they helped get started? Do you define it by the stuff that they boosted into the scene? You know, the whole roadies performing a Deep Sanctuary thing, where they're just like, hey, by the way, we provided you all of your favorite musicians, just to remind you that they worked for us first.
Can you go into that for a little bit? I'm actually not familiar with what that is.
With Deep Sanctuary? I heard you touch on it in your last one.
Well, I did. I don't think Jeff got to research it.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to follow up on it. So
this September, they Malice Moi is hosting Deep Sanctuary. Is it their 7th?
Oh,
their 5th? Which one is it?
It's the 7th, but it's to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Malice Mizer.
So they've done this many times, and I think it was the second time they did a Deep Sanctuary, they actually brought back Yuki from Malice Mizer, which was huge when that happened. No one had seen Malice Mizer's Yuki in years and years, and then he showed up for this reunion that they did in Deep Sanctuary. But now they've done it they do it usually every other year. They do a Malice Mizer reunion session as part of a show that's Moi show, and then is his show, and then they pull off a Malice Mizer session. This year, as Winona said, it's in celebration of the 25th anniversary. And instead of what they usually have done, which is throwing Koji and Yuki on as the vocals, because they don't have any of the vocalists available to sing with them, this year what they're doing is bringing on guest vocalists who are past Malice Mizer roadies. So who was it? It was
Kamijo, big deal. Emiru.
No, he told me. Yeah. Let me see which band it was that he told me it was from, because he's the one I'm not as familiar with. So Caligari's Shuji is going to be singing for them, which I can think of so many Malice Mizer songs that I would like him to sing for. That is exciting to me. I don't know. I mean, almost any of the more electronic Gactera songs or any of the Tetsuya songs, I would definitely listen to Shuji sing. And then Kamijo, I cannot even begin to wonder what he's going to sing. But I mean, I think that right there is a little bit of an example of a legacy. They're pulling out the 25th anniversary, and to sing for them, they're inviting people who were roadies back at the start and are more than happy to come and support that anniversary now.
Yeah, definitely. Asuka apparently read our minds, because she brought up that we didn't talk about D for Gothic and symphonic bands.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we always sleep on D.
Yeah, and we were talking about this right before we went live. We were like, oh God, we forgot D again. No.
Ooh, we were like, who's a concept artist? And we were like, oh yeah, D. Like,
yeah, because we were having a conversation. Because what was it, Kassandra? You brought up like concept albums, and I wasn't really sure for Visual K what was and wasn't a concept album.
Isn't everything a concept?
Everything. Yeah. Well, I mean, when you read the press releases for a lot of these, it's like it'll be like, you know, it could be like the most like commercial friendly thing, like album, and it'll be like, what was that? What was the last PSCA 9 album? Like Supernova is a special concept of this and that and this and that, and it's like it's a dubstep album, like, but it's like it's written like, you know, like they all have these broad concepts and stuff like that.
It's written in a way to keep fans from being mad at the bands for, like, you know, going a little bit electronic, so they don't say that they sold out. You know, like written in a way to say like, oh yeah, like we're mixing like metal and some electronic elements, but it's just EDM.
Yeah, but the ones that we narrowed it down to, if I remember correctly, were like kind of in the general radius of like bands like Moi-même-Moitié and you know, Versailles, Kami Joe especially, and then we got to D. So yeah, and if you guys haven't gotten into D yet, like you should get into D.
D is just one of those bands that everyone forgets, but everyone loves. Like
they really were the ones that like, you know, I like as far as I remember, that really like kicked the dark fantasy thing.
Seventh Rose was the start of it all, and they it's just
like Pentagon probably wouldn't have their theme if it wasn't for D. Like half of their themes. No. But yeah, I think we sleep on them. I think I sleep on them because there was like a few years where
it was that Alice in Wonderland kind of concept.
Yeah, they had this Alice in Wonderland kind of concept that was just a little lighter and it wasn't really my thing. But it was because like Asagi heard his voice, right? Or
yeah, he something happened. He was like sick and he had some vocal cord issues. So he was like, they went on hiatus and then they came back from hiatus and they had like this new concept and nobody was feeling the new concept. So I
think people were feeling it, but it's just not like the people like us that
no, clearly like they lost some people. If they lost us, they lost some other people for sure.
Okay,
so yes. They went back eventually and said it wasn't working. So
that's true. This last mini album, they're pretty much back in form.
Yeah.
But
I think if we're looking at the big picture, you're gonna find a lot of that legacy just in. I mean, you don't have to be metal to be goth. That's all I'm trying to say. There's so many gothic elements. The whole scene got started off. Yeah, I think just some of the criticism you were laying out about how some, or at least the observations about how some current projects have deviated and become more symphonic, say, or more electronic. It's true, everyone's going to have their own sound, but that's because you can't ever like lay down a sound for a visual K. But the themes, I feel like, matter so much more, and so many of those themes, especially from Malice Mizer, have stuck around for a lot of these projects. So I'm not too worried about the legacy going anywhere. When the musicians that we see currently stop name dropping Malice Mizer as an inspiration, which we see in interviews all the time, then I guess I'll worry. But I think that the legacy's strong because they just pop up in little ways in the inspiration in the scene.
Oh, okay.
Still there.
So, what did you think of Kami Joe's most recent album?
My goodness. I don't know what to say right now. I thought that the other recent releases from him, you take Heart and you take the 3 singles that came out after Heart, because we saw Castrato come through, we saw Mademoiselle come through, and then Nosferatu. And I think on all of those releases, the music was good, but it also felt a little bit sporadic and like you never knew what you were going to get. Every single that came out, it was like a whole new genre. I didn't know what to expect. And it's just, oh, this one's a ballad. It's nice and romantic. Oh, this one's really heavy. This one's more symphonic. And the B-sides, they also didn't feel necessarily like they all tied together. And so the difference is when I turned on Song and listened through it, it was the easiest run through I've ever had to start at the beginning of an album and go straight through to the end. And everything felt so cohesive to me. And the way that the whole album ties in some of the same melodies and the same themes throughout it, you could kind of tell that he's pulling together this story and this narrative. And because of that, I really appreciated it compared to his other recent work. That it felt like, oh, this is what we've been building to. You just pulled a bunch of songs out of this. Those are those singles. When you put them all in the right order, I totally understand. So, yeah, I liked it as far as what he can produce. I think that the whole album made more sense when the singles released on their own. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I could I could definitely see that. I honestly kind of feel like, I don't know. I don't know. You can tell me what you think, but like, do you think Nosferatu even needed to be a single? Because like hearing it in the context of the album it made just 10 times more sense than,
I see.
you know.
Okay, so the thing about that song is it was hyped in all of the release info, right, as like the highly anticipated live favorite, because it's something that he's had and been playing at lives for years. And everyone who goes to his shows knows it by heart by now. And everyone who doesn't go to his shows is like, oh, great, there's that popular song that we never got to hear. Thanks. So I think it was a smart move to release it as a single. I think it got a lot of hype from people who had been waiting for it.
Oh,
But
wow.
I stand by what I said, that it makes more sense in the album. And I was happy to hear it all go together. I thought it
Yeah.
was
So
going to come
people
out
in
and we'd be like,
Japan were
mind blown.
excited
Yeah.
for it.
Even people in Europe who saw a little more of him, right? He's been touring.
True,
He played it in Europe.
I had no idea. Wow. Yeah.
I think that was in some of the stuff that came out. They said, it's in all of the ads, the highly anticipated release, which is why the single didn't have a B-side. It had the song, and it had a few different live recordings of the song, because there's just this live song.
Yeah, that does. Yeah, that makes that make a lot more sense.
Yeah, because everyone's like, why is this one song on it? What are you doing right now? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they were good. It explains why they were good, like the live tracks,
Yeah.
But it explains why he picked that like song to like get a choir out for a live recording and stuff. So
exactly, I do think, but that's exactly what I mean. Where when it was getting all hyped, I thought, we're going to hear something new. I'm excited. Maybe this is going to be something darker, or maybe we're going to return to some of the Versailles sound where they had some of the heavier vampire songs that kind of pulled in that gothic sound. And it was more commercial, more choir, more symphonic. And I was like, it's nice, but I don't really understand how it got all of this acclaim until I heard it on the album, and I said, the whole thing comes together.
Yeah. I wonder if he like times it out like ideally in the live so that it's like, like he places it at the right spot in the set list, like how he placed it in the album.
Maybe, because like I'm wondering how he knows that song particularly was the hyped one in like the context of a list, like a grouping of songs.
I think go ahead.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's not what I would have like picked out as a traditional like style of fan favorite, like the Gazette's fan favorites, for example, are like all of their crazy indie band songs, and actually it's usually most of their crazy songs. Like it's stuff that sticks out, or stuff that has like a massive amount of audience participation and stuff like that. They have one song that turns into 20 minutes of that, but yeah, so I wasn't sure what it was about Nosferatu that made it a fan favorite, aside from the fact that it's like really well polished and stuff. Like
I think it was just the very, very extended tease. It was the one song that people had to go to lives to hear. I don't know why that's the one that he introduced before he had recorded it, but that's how that went down. I mean, it's similar to Mois. Whoop, monetize back. We're going back to Mois.
There you go.
We talk about how they haven't released even their reprise album that was re-recorded old songs since 2012. But they have, it sounds like just about a full album's worth of music that they play at their concerts. Fans in Japan do know these songs. They can list them by name. They're getting very used to them after these years. They just haven't been recorded.
Yeah, I heard they're like some eight songs ish now that were written, but Mana's just like being Mana and being a super perfectionist about producing the songs. So he's just like, no, they're not ready yet. And I'm just like, well, bro, you're doing better than some, so do you, fam? Like,
yeah, he tweeted about it, right? Winona?
Yeah, I need to go back and find those tweets. Yeah, he tweeted about it, and he's like, yeah, there are like 8 songs available or something, 8 songs that are being like performed live, and then fans like just know those songs, like you said.
Well,
I love how that's just like floating out there, like
on the internet,
like low key, like yeah, it's just
No one knows. Everyone's just like, so where's this new album at, fam? It's been like 6 years. And he's like, it's coming, don't worry.
It's coming. Inevitably, though.
And he's low-key like playing half of it at lives already.
Not like 2/3 of it at
Yeah.
live.
2/3 of it. Like, wow, dude, that's crazy.
The one
It
song
came
that he fully introduced was the one for K when he passed away, and he performed that one in Russia, and people went crazy for it, especially since it was like a memorial song. But I'm so sure he has other songs, and
he certainly does have other songs. It came up in Sakura-Con, though. It came up during the panel, of course, the question of when can we expect another album, and the word was that he plans to get back to Japan and start recording after this.
Oh wow.
So I mean, I can only tell you what he said. The answer was, I'm fully aware, I'm ready to go, I want to go back and start recording on that. It's not exactly a timeline, but it has not been forgotten.
Wow.
As of this weekend.
Maybe meeting out the US fans inspired him.
Fun fact.
You can hope.
Fun fact, if you go onto the Malice Moi website, there's like a song you can download. Yeah, you can download free music from the Malice Moi website. But like it's like the one whatever's playing on the website is what you can download at that moment.
So awesome.
Like I was able to get the Seventh Veil. That was what was playing when I went on there. So if you go on there, I don't know, it'll probably be something off of Desect because that was their most recent like full new album. Like it's been a while since they released like real new content, and I feel like we're coming up on like what, like Desect came out in like 2010, and then like we're coming up on like 10 years eventually on like because I'm pretty sure that album's gonna come out in like 2020.
But you
it
know
feels
what's
like
amazing? Yeah, that's only 2 years from now, so I think you're right.
Yeah.
What I love though is that I know in my heart when it comes out, it's gonna sound just like it should. I bet you nothing has changed. It's gonna be exactly like everyone wants it to.
He's gonna go on a world tour with that album as much as he's been teasing us with it. Because there's Jalame, then there's the Beast Inside, I think, right?
Beast Side.
Beast Side. That's 2. There's 6 more we don't know about.
Jalame was on Reprise. We get
yeah,
that.
Jalame's on Reprise. We know that one. We know that we know that Beast Side exists, but there's 6 we don't know about that exist.
Yep.
And we're just waiting. We're just waiting.
Yeah, exactly. All we can do is take what he gives us. But between a show in, between the fashion show in Seattle last weekend and the fact that he's going to Europe in September, I think things are looking good.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, my general impression of his, music so far, again, still being the newbie here, is he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that screws up his own sound. So yeah, if he's able to like space these memes out, or space these memes out. Sorry, I was looking at the chat.
The mem.
I'm trying to figure out what Asuka's saying.
No. The memes.
Asuka's talking about Shrek memes. I don't know if someone's getting filtered out.
I can see the meme right now. Somebody being like, picture of Mana, space these memes out.
Anyways, yeah. So if he's able to space the albums out like this, and I guess that's just his thing, where it's just like he just takes that long. Cycle. Yeah, Western release cycle. He's on that Western release cycle.
But it's because he's a perfectionist.
Well, yeah, that's nice. I mean, I kind of envy that. As a Gazette fan, like, I really love their music, but they're always so precarious with the concepts they pursue, and there's always so much pushback sometimes that it's like every time an album comes out, I'm stoked for it, but there's like a little voice in the back of my head that's like, is this the one? Is this their castle of glass?
Castle of Glass. No,
Is this the one that makes them Linkin Park?
The new Linkin Park. Is this the one that makes them the new Imagine Dragons?
Is
Is
their Linkin Park
change?
sellout moment? Like
Is their
they lose
change?
their identity, and so
Is there one OK Rock change? No, but
yeah. So I respect bands that's like, this is my identity, and I am able to maintain it.
No, but the difference between like the Gazette and like Moi-même-Moitié, like the Gazette's perfectionist in their own sound, but they have like a whole team of people. Like they have like labels backing them, like multiple, and their management. And then with Moi-même-Moitié, it's literally like just Mana, because his band signed to his label, MIDI-net, and then like that's it. That's all I know. I don't know who's on MIDI-net. We just know that MIDI-net's his label, so he manages himself. Like everything is him. So it's like, good luck, bro. He's an artist in his own right in every way.
I know he was advertising, he was saying at the beginning of the year, but when he was trying to reassure fans about this whole change that Moitié underwent, which is a huge change for it to leave his ownership and transition to Wonderworld. So he's trying to explain that it's for the best. It's exactly what he wants to have happen, and that as much as he's extremely excited for what's going to happen with the fashion line, which we've seen has been really fantastic, he also said that he wants this year to be the year that he starts focusing up really close to Moi-même-Moitié again and gets that going.
Yeah, that makes sense, because then that like everyone's every startup, every startup's dream is to get that sponsorship, yo.
Yeah,
Moi-même-Moitié was like his ultimate startup.
Yeah, I mean,
in good hands now.
That is the goal, yeah, for sure.
You know what? Did you guys notice that when the Deep Sanctuary tickets went on sale this year, they had a very like functional way for overseas fans to be part of the ticket lottery, and that Moi-même-Moitié handled all of that. And the fact that he's got this, where Moitié has left his ownership, but it's still very tied into his career. All of a sudden, Moitié is revived, and it's handling his concert ticket sales. Like the Mana Empire has only grown stronger with this.
It's a slow burn.
Well, I mean, it's good sign. It's good news. It's hard for me
Yeah.
to want to sit here and predict anything, because I just want to see what happens. Right now, I mean, since the beginning of the year, since the end of last year, it's been kind of nonstop. It's been very exciting. He's coming out with a new Rock and Read interview I saw on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
Hear what that's about. I mean, he's playing 20-something pages of interview on all of this. I really want to know what that says. I don't think any of it's
real interesting. I feel like Mana, like, it's like, you know how like Miyavi's like growing up in industry right now, blowing up. That's gonna be Mana, but like on an even slower burn. So he's just like getting even more dedicated fans from it. And then when he finally like reaches the top, everyone knows who he is. It's gonna be crazy.
So when he's in his 60s as opposed to his 30s,
he's gonna be like the Kiss of gothic metal.
Oh, wow.
Just him.
Yeah, well, I mean, seeing the reactions at the fashion show and at his brand tea party at Sakura-Con, the people who are waiting for him have been waiting very patiently, and nothing has died in their anticipation, and nothing has died in their appreciation. This went over very well, and everyone absolutely enjoyed seeing him. I think whatever he brings, it's gonna be good. People are gonna love it.
I think it works because he doesn't make any promises beforehand. He's just like, hey, it is what it is, here it is, and nobody is like expecting anything from him like constantly. And then since the beginning of his solo project, like he's always like gone on a slow cycle. Nobody's like haggled him about like, hey man, it's been like a while since you released a new single, what's good? He's doing whatever. Like I think the last time he released a single was whenever he didn't release any singles before Desect, right? And he only released like singles before Desanadu. And then after that, there were no singles. It was just straight albums. Right. So it's really interesting to follow him.
Has no PVs, obviously.
Well, he kind of does, but they're not real music videos.
No, I'm talking about like.
No, yeah, I know. And it's crazy because like he was featured on Kamijo's music video for Louis, and when I saw that, I was like, what? It was
PV. Oh my god!
It had been so long since he was in the PV. I was like, what is going on? It was crazy. So
you
like,
know he's capable because Malice Mizer obviously have gorgeous.
oh
PV.
yeah, duh. But it's crazy because like once you get like if you get it's funny because he's such a unicorn in PV. Like once he's in a PV, it's like yo, well, you got Mana in a PV.
I want to know what Kamisho
like,
told
how?
him. What did Kamisho like? Oh man, how did he bargain that one out?
Exactly. He was just like, yo, Mana, I'm doing a solo debut. And Mana's like, oh, word, let me know if I can help. He's like, yo, I need you to do a cameo. I just need a cameo.
But actually, that thank you ties into what I was going to return to. Again, I know you guys talked about in your list of possible like legacy potentials, both Kamisho and Kaya's names came up in Shortstein. But let's realize that as much as we haven't had maybe as much activity as we would like from Mana, there's basically no limit to the activity I'd like to see from Mana. Very recently, Kamisho asked him to be part of the Hatsune Miku collaboration. That shows the, you know, the level of like relevance and respect that he's holding here, where, you know, Kamisho lines up a project and was like, hey, I know who I want to bring on and have to be part of this, and went and extended that invitation. At just about the same time that Shortstein was pulling off their anniversary shows. I think it was the anniversary shows. And we're inviting Mana and Koji to play with them for these shows, showing they absolutely also haven't lost the respect for the legacy that Malice Mizer has. So you can't expect anyone, and you don't want anyone to be a copy. Someone walks up and is like, I'm the new Malice Mizer, they're going to get walked back out. There's no interest in someone that's going to just try to pick up where they left off. But other musicians with their own style, they're not going to forget. They're keeping everything tied in. No one's really lost interest in Mana.
Yeah, I guess that's the upside. Is it's like, you know, I guess all the artists that are around that are taking inspiration and from maybe Moi or just Malice Mizer, you know, they're all just, there's like enough space for them to just kind of grow and kind of, you know, hone their personal style, you know. And now they're all at the point where they can kind of collaborate together from different angles and stuff.
Sure, because I don't think that the point of anything that they the members of Malice Mizer would have wanted to, I don't think that they ever wanted to say this is what music should sound like and this is what everyone should sound like going forward. I don't think that's ever when their participation in the scene what they wanted to do. So yeah, trying to hold to that. I think that fans of that group can absolutely still be satisfied with some of what's come out of them existing and expiring Visual K since then. I think you can tell just because of the way when they split off and they started their own projects, they were so completely different from each other. Tiny little bits of Malice Mizer showed up in all these different solo projects that the members turned into. Not so much Gect, there's not a ton of Malice Mizer left in him, but the others. And people still appreciate it and still enjoy it. It doesn't have to sound the same.
Awesome.
That's my input.
All right. Well, I think that's a great spot to go ahead and end on. I know you got to get going soon, Kassandra. So thanks so much for coming on. And
more like 4 minutes ago, Jeff.
And providing
5 minutes ago.
Hey. Don't hate on your fellow man bun person right now.
gang.
Bun gang. So
bunny gang. I'll stop.
Okay. Can I wrap the show up?
I was rapping while you were wrapping up.
Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, thanks again so much, Kassandra, for coming on and giving your much more expert opinion than me. I think the people really appreciated that, or they will when they see it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for coming out. I'll just make a couple special announcements right here. I put up an article right before the stream started. We hit 1,000 followers on Instagram, on our Instagram handle, VKH_official. So first of all, thank you so much if you contributed to that. And secondly, as a thank you and to celebrate that, tomorrow at 7 p.m. EST, we're taking VKH Live over to Instagram. So it's going to be me, Winona, and a few other people on Instagram Live for about 45 minutes from like 7 to 7:45, maybe a little bit later. And then at 8 p.m. tomorrow, we're going to be doing a pre-show for LMC, who is coming to TechCon this week. So there will be an article going up for that right after we end this stream. So got lots of VKH Live stuff for you guys coming up tomorrow and more this week. So stay in touch, subscribe, check out our homepage, vkh-press.com, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.